walk in with that negativity, like, oh, it's going to be one of those type, those type of wedding. I don't have a set playlist for my cocktails. I do have some things that I can do if I need to. I love the Doobie Brothers.
Another Thursday in November, so it must be Mobile Music Thursday. Thanks for tuning in another week. I'm really excited about our guest that we have this week. She comes to us from Chicago, a very big company that's called Mobile Music Interactive Entertainment. And it's been around for quite a long time. And in more than a multi-op DJ company, this is a full-on production company. Decor, technology, lighting, photo booth, the works. They can take care of companies and needs of events and private parties, from soup to nuts, and really expand it out. And I have the pleasure of talking to the general manager today and DJ talent and MC, Shani Barnett. Shani, thanks so much for coming on the show. She's been a DJ for 10 years. Thanks for being here.
My pleasure. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, this is really, really fun. So since we talk about DJing and how we like to kind of approach our music, and everyone's style is always a little bit different and is always really revealing. Tell me a little bit about, before even taking into consideration all the client specifics, shall we say, what is your game plan when you go into an event? Like, let's say a wedding that you might have done recently, or a corporate event.
My game plan usually is I kind of just want to go with the flow. I don't want to overthink it. When you overthink it, that's when you start second guessing yourself.
Okay.
So I really want to kind of observe the crowd, see what I have, because a lot of times what my client tells me in the meeting is totally different than the vibe of the party.
Oh, interesting.
They're thinking what they want. Oh, we want this great, crazy, crazy party. We want everybody dancing. We know it's 11 a.m., but we want everybody dancing. And then, I hate to say this, they walk in and everybody's over 60. So we know in a perfect world,
like the energy is like completely not there. It's like it would be really forced and uncomfortable to try to drive that.
Right, exactly. And, I always say I'm not a dentist. I'm not going to pull teeth. I'm not going to get out there on a microphone and get in people's faces and, come on, get on the dance floor. We need you here now.
Right. Get the memo.
Right. So I just kind of, look and assess what's going on in the party, and I also look to see, either it's a wedding or it's a sweet 16 or a mitzvah, are they coming from the ceremony? Are they coming from a service? Was it, a couple hours before where they do have downtime? Are they starving? Where they're not going to want to dance and they just want to know where the food is.
Right.
So it's I kind of think of those factors. Even though the client went over things, I still think of those factors when I'm saying, okay, now let me think what I really want to do with the music. I don't like to plan ahead when it comes to music. I definitely go off the music request lists and I do sets knowing what the client wants. But as far as me saying I'm going to start with this song, start with that song, I really don't know until those people and those guests walk into that party and I see what's going on. Sure. I might have some cocktail music already playing, but then I see what the crowd is. And within that first song, I might fade and go into a different cocktail song because of the crowd that I have.
So how about some examples? Like think back to your last event or last couple event and what you saw happen in the room or come into the room. And then what music choices you made or decisions you made about what you were going to do with your music.
Sure. The last event I did was actually a mitzvah. Last weekend I actually had 3 events because we are a multi-op. I can do numerous events on the weekends. Thank goodness to my setup and breakdown crew. Yeah. I'm an entertainer, so I could walk in an hour and a half before the party, and then when it's done, I can leave. Especially if I could do 2 parties in one day. So if a party from like 11 to 4, I can leave by 4:35, get to another party that starts at 7.
Sure.
So I love that I have, that. So we can either talk about the wedding I did, or we could talk about the bar mitzvah I did.
Well, let's talk about the wedding.
Okay. So this wedding, we were not part of the ceremony this time.
Okay.
Usually might provide, the ceremony music with a separate system and everything, which, I kind of like when we're not part of it, because now I can think of, the cocktail music and things like that. With this event that I did, cocktails were actually in the main room because they were doing some special things in there and they wanted to have the cocktails in the main room. So the couple that was getting married were in their 30s, and they of course told me, which a lot of couples say, that they have people from ages 2 to ages 90. So they told me they had that big spectrum of people. And what I like to do is, I kind of like to, especially with the cocktail music, go towards more of the older crowd. So they don't walk in with that negativity, like, oh, it's going to be one of those type of weddings.
Sure.
So I like to kind of, have them feel comfortable. So then when we do ease into the more current music in the night, they're not freaking out so much. So, but I still like to do, a mixture of everything. I don't have a set playlist for my cocktails. I do have some things that I can do if I need to, but with this one, I was, going off the cuff. So I was doing some older Frank Sinatra, which is not your typical Frank Sinatra music. Maybe I'll do, some stuff like, All My Tomorrows and things like that, where I do some of the other things, maybe some Nat King Cole, but then also throw in some like Michael Bublé, some Sade, some things like that, where the older crowd doesn't know the music, but they're still not freaking out about that during cocktails.
Okay.
And I might even throw in,
pretty,
some
pretty
reggae.
mellow, pretty classic.
Right.
And fairly, and not jarring. It's fairly predictable in that manner.
Right, exactly. And unless the client says to me that they have a set playlist for cocktails, a lot of them will say, I want to leave it in your hands. And I'm like, perfect. I'll go off what the crowd is feeling.
Well, let's fast forward now to the dance.
Yes.
Did you start the dance with spotlight dances?
I actually, the bridal party came in, they did a first dance.
Okay.
And after their first dance, then, we started eating and all that kind of stuff. So as soon as the party started, they wanted to do one song for the bridal party, and they actually just wanted it a very club feel for this party. They wanted, even though they had the older people there, which they knew that I could handle, they definitely wanted to keep it like a nightclub vibe. Because we also did things for that as far as lighting goes.
Sure. Did you do anything to balance the playing to they want nightclub, and you also want to provide something for the older people there, or was that not a consideration? You're just, they want nightclub, you're going to deliver nightclub.
It definitely was. They said, the first couple hours, I don't want to leave out the older people. Towards the end, you can do the EDM and the techno and stuff like that. So, I did start the first set hardcore, but I did top 40. I don't want to say that was hardcore, but we did do top 40, but then I kind of eased into it and did a little like moves like Jagger, some of the older top 40 songs. And then of course, when I went to do a slow song, I went a little older and did an older slow song. I believe it was, in fact, I have my playlist right here. I can even tell you what I have.
Sure. That's all right.
Yeah. I did. I did Make You Feel My Love by Adele for one of the songs. And then the other one, I did a Frank Sinatra song.
Okay, sure.
Just to kind of make them feel comfortable.
And as far as the faster dancing music for the quote-unquote older folks that were there, you were primarily, so you were kind of like just working with kind of like recurrent top 40, kind of like the last 5 years kind of thing, still staying very, very contemporary, very current, not reaching back into oldies or anything else like that for them?
Well, here's the thing. With my DJ style, I have a lot of mashups and I have a lot of remixes.
Okay, tell me about those.
Like older rock music, older Motown. I have an incredible, I play Respect, Aretha Franklin, and I have an incredible remix of it. So it's got that beat behind it. It's about 120 beats per minute. So the younger crowd is going to dance to it because it's got the beat. That's always what I always say. As long as it has a beat, the younger crowd's going to dance to it.
Sure.
But then, the older crowd knows the song. So I have some four tops. I have some Motown. I have some disco. I have some rock songs that are between 120, 128 beats per minute. But the older crowd knows that music.
Sure. And are these remixes that you've made or remixes that you found?
They're both. Some of them are remixes that I found through the music pools that I belong to. And some of them are just remixes that I said, oh, this would be such a great song. for like, this would be, everybody knows Build Me Up Buttercup, however,
Right.
however old they are, whether they're 3 years old or 33 years old or 66 years old.
Right.
And, and I just wanted a really great one that has that beat. So I did like a remix to Build Me Up Buttercup.
Sure. So it's like, so you're kind of like making kind of a almost like an oldies house kind of sound, where you've got like you've got a good electronic beat going with everything, but it still holds the integrity of the song. In other words, because sometimes remixes, the song itself can get lost in the remix.
It could definitely get lost, definitely, because then you have a lot of times where maybe you have the first couple like 5 lines of it, and then it starts going into like
right, some weird thing like, where'd it go? And is that song gonna come back?
I want to sing with the chorus. I know exactly, and that's what I try to stay away from during those sets.
Sure. And how much of each song do you usually play? Do you kind of go 20 seconds here, 30 seconds there, or do you play out the songs?
On all of my parties, whether it be a wedding, a mitzvah, a sweet 16, anything that I do, even when I'm at the clubs, I like to hot mix, but not hot mix that much. I like to kind of do verse, chorus, and maybe mix out, or if they're really into it, do verse, chorus. So I'm definitely mixed out of it by the second chorus for sure.
Wow. So you play about, how many songs do you think you play in an hour?
Oh my goodness. I couldn't even tell you. I mean, I play a lot. If I'm the DJ, I play a lot. I like to change it up. If I see they're really, really enjoying and singing a song, I'll let that one go out. I'll definitely let that one go out and let them sing it more. But I do like to mix out after that second chorus to just kind of keep it going.
Sure.
If that's a song that didn't get somebody on the dance floor, then hopefully the next song that I'm playing is the person that was thinking like, I want to dance. No, I don't want it. And then all of a sudden within a minute, another song's coming. You know what? I'm going on the dance floor.
Right,
and that's what I look for
right.
too while I'm DJing. I'm watching the crowd.
Right. Yeah. How they're reacting and how they're being. So you're
Yes.
not in a vacuum. Like what's really working here, what's building some momentum. Are there any songs that you've discovered that you get in trouble if you mix out of them too fast? Like an example I've run into is like, I've never found a good place to mix out of Footloose. Like it's like, I always get a like, go, I got to let the whole thing play.
Right. Footloose is one of those tricky songs. Footloose, you either have to play the whole entire song or your follow-up song has to be better.
Right, exactly. It has to like, the moon. Yes, let's go to the moon.
Right.
Yeah.
Footloose, like, that's one of those songs that's up here. And unless you can top Footloose with something else that depending on what that crowd is into.
Well, and that's a tall order. I mean, does depend on the crowd too. But like, what would be, and I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
No, that's okay. Put me on the spot.
What would be a song that you would think that would top Footloose? This is an opinion, so.
Okay, well, it all depends. If I'm going more towards, I have a crowd of maybe 40-year-olds that are kind of in that vibe. I'll probably do like an 80s, maybe put that into a whole 80s set. So before I did Footloose, I already did a couple other like 80s songs.
Sure.
And to maybe keep jogging their memory, I'll definitely keep it dancey. Maybe I'll go into like a Love Shack. Mm-hmm. So like, but I'll do it so they hear that beat, and they know what's coming in.
Well, yeah. What was it? I heard a good mashup was, I think it's Billie Jean going from out of Footloose into Billie Jean, or vice versa. That
you can never go wrong with Michael Jackson.
That matches right. Yeah, I've talked to so many DJs that are like, oh, what do you do when you lose a floor? I play MJ.
Right.
Because everybody's like, Michael Jackson, let's go dance.
Right. It's like I joke around with certain events like weddings, you never go wrong with playing Michael Jackson. Mitzvahs, you never go wrong with playing Pitbull.
Okay.
Things like
wow, mitzvahs are all about Pitbull. He's all party anthem, rah, rah, rah. So I guess that would make sense.
You don't have to think. Like Michael Jackson, you don't have to think. You got so many songs you can do. It's always like a running joke. But yeah, I would definitely keep it that 80s genre. Depending on what the crowd is feeling. If they're feeling more of, that dancey 80s, I mean, I might even go into like Depeche Mode or something, depending on what kind of crowd they were doing in that whole 80s set.
Sure.
But Footloose is definitely one of those. You got to be careful with it.
Right. Oh, right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, so what about like when you're going through the rest of the night, when you're going through the night, like at your wedding, so you've got, how long is your dance portion usually? Is it 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours?
Depending on what they want, I like to try to dance them in between courses if possible. If I see that the venue is taking long for the courses, I like to try to dance them for even like 5 to 7 minutes if possible. So I
Okay.
like to kind of do that. And then that way it doesn't seem like you're trying to rush a whole entire, like 4 hour dance party in 2 hours or 2.5 hours.
Right.
So most of it's like 3 hours for me towards the end of the night, unless we're going overtime or something.
Okay. So how do you keep from tiring out your crowd? So to recycle the dance or just kind of keep the momentum going so you don't kind of fizzle out toward the end?
For me, that's a big deal, because you don't want just 3 people on the dance floor at the end of the night,
Yeah,
and then
that's
people
not a great way
leaving
to
because they're
end.
tired.
Mm-hmm.
So, as much as I'm like, an open format type DJ, I mix in everything. I might then just towards the end of the night still do a Motown set.
Mm-hmm.
But do the Motown set of like the oldies but goodies type songs, like The Respect and Sugar Pie Honey Bunch and things like that.
Sure.
Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of the lower beat tempo songs, so they're not jumping around and going crazy. But I still like to throw in those slow songs, and I still like to throw in some of the older slow songs. So if you still have the older guests there,
Mm-hmm.
they
feel
can at
like
least
there's something for
say,
them.
you know what, I loved that you threw in, Percy Sledge, or something that was something that I knew, and that that I knew that song.
Right. Right. Yeah. No. I mean that makes a really really big difference. So how many slow songs do you do? And this is. I'm like on average, like a typical. I mean, I understand it all. It all varies from event to
Yeah.
event. But like on typical, like what do you try to? Because I always have to try to be conscious of. Because I start having fun. Like, oh, this party's really rocking. This is great. Ooh,
Right.
I have to slow this down. I have got to get in another slow set. It's been 30 minutes, and I
Right.
always try to do at least 2 slow sets an hour.
Yes. Oh, I
And
agree
what
with
do
that.
you
I
like? How do
definitely
you
agree
like
with
to
that.
do, or do you have a barometer on that, or is it all by feel?
It's all by feel, but I'm like you. I like to do at least 2 slow. I like to do 2 slow sets, within the hour. Definitely one for sure. And my sets are for sure at least 2 songs for my slow sets. Because sometimes you get those people that don't come out for that first song, or you always get that like couples that come out the last 15 minutes of that song when you're looking at your computer, like, really, you're gonna walk out and there's 15 minutes left, 15
Mm-hmm.
seconds left. So it's like I always try to do at least 2 slow songs in my sets, but I like to do 2 sets of slow dancing if possible on the hour.
Sure. That's great, Shani. This has been so insightful. I've got a couple of questions. Well,
Yes.
these are my final questions are what I call kind of these are my DJ questions. This is a
Okay.
question to a DJ for DJs.
Okay. I love it. I love talking to DJs.
And so what I want to know is what song do you love that you wish everyone loved to dance to, but they don't?
Oh,
Like
okay.
one of my favorite songs that I really love is that I wish more people would love to dance to is Safety Dance is one of them. It's only on rare occasion, and I love that's just such a fun song to me, kind of thing like that. But it's like rarely can I ever get like, yay, this song, and that in Electric Light Orchestra, Don't Bring Me Down. So in North
Yes.
Dakota, Minnesota, a while ago, it used to be like really like, yeah, everybody loves
Yeah.
that, and now it like just does not do anything. So
Yeah.
what is it? What is there? Is there one for you?
I have a couple. I mean, I love music and I love all genres. So there's definitely a couple songs that we all try to get in our favorite songs in a party just to see if it's going to work or not.
Mm-hmm.
One of my songs I love the Doobie Brothers.
Ah,
So I love their stuff.
so is it like listen to the music that you want,
Yeah.
or rolling down the highway,
Yeah.
or?
I love listening to the music, and I'm also an interactive DJ as well.
Mm-hmm.
So during certain songs, if I'm doing a wedding and I know I'm kind of going off track for a second, and it's just like a 1-person wedding and it's not a DJ and an MC, there's certain songs that I like to go out in the front and, as we call it, like do like a lead follow where they're following me. So like I love to do that to the Doobie Brothers and kind of have them do some things with me.
Okay, cool. Now, what a song is crazy popular that you wish everyone would just get over?
Do I have to say?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank goodness in my area, everybody's over Justin Bieber. So I'm very, very happy about that.
Right?
I
I
am so
know.
happy that there's no Beliebers anymore. So I'm
Yes,
very,
thank
but I'm,
goodness he retired.
yes, but the one thing that I'm playing every party, and it doesn't matter if it's a wedding, a mitzvah, a sweet 16, elementary school,
Hmm.
it doesn't matter. Right now, for the last month, every single weekend is Taylor Swift, Shake It Off.
Shake It Off. And are you over that song? Are you done?
Let me put it this way, just to help me out, I have 6 versions of the song
There you
to
go.
help me feel better. And guess what? When I play every version, it doesn't help. Taylor Swift, you're a genius. I know you went mainstream. Nothing against you. I mean, I have the the pop version.
Yes.
I have a dubstep version.
Awesome.
I have an EDM version. I have a
Yeah,
twerk version.
I get it. It's
I have all
burning.
these
And
versions, and I
it'll be
just
curious to see if it's still here 6 months from now. Or
that
if
could
it
be
or if it
interesting.
how hot it burns if it burns out.
I think it's going to burn out. I think it's one of those songs that it's very, it's kind of like all about that bass, that song, the Megan Trainor song,
Hmm.
very catchy. The women, the girls, they're all into it. They want to sing it,
Yep.
but
Girl anthem.
someone else is going to come out with another song, whether it be one of the other female artists,
Well, like
a
when Single
Jessie
Ladies
J,
was huge.
but right now that is like on everybody's playlist. You have to have that song. We all want to sing it. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
Now I'm not going to lie. My all time, and I'll tell you this. Sometimes I lie at parties and tell them I don't have it, which I have like 10 copies of it. My all time, I hate playing song, and I'm sorry to say this, is the Macarena.
Oh, the Macarena. Yeah. The Bayside Boys mix, of course.
I'll play Cha Cha Slide.
And it's back too. It's like it burned out and now
It
it's like
burned
coming
out.
back. People are requesting it again.
And they're requesting it to the point when I play it, I have a packed dance floor. Not just 5 people doing it and they're drunk. I have a
Right.
packed dance floor.
Right. So it's like, so am I really not going to use it? So do you play that on request only?
I play it on request only, and it takes me a little bit of time.
You have
Put
to,
it.
it's going to build yourself up. Okay, I'm going to play this song.
I
All
have
right.
to. I have to like.
Prepare
Yeah. I
myself.
have to like. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Shani.
All right.
All right, Shani. We're gonna do this. We're gonna play the Macarena. We're gonna have a big smile on our face. We might.
Right, and
we
we're
might
gonna-
even do one Macarena in the back. We might do it.
Going to be happy
But
about
it's
it.
been getting requested lately. I don't know why. I don't know what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do play it, but it takes me a while when it gets requested.
Right. That's awesome, Shani. Shani, thanks for taking the time and setting aside time to be on Mobile Music Thursday and talk to us about how you DJ and why you DJ.
My
Keep
pleasure.
making people happy out there in the Chicagoland area, and keep those dance floors packed.
Always, always.
That's it for another Mobile Music Thursday. Tune in on Monday. You can catch another Bill and Jason show where Bill, my partner and cohort, and I get together and talk about what's happening in the mobile DJ industry and anything else that might be happening in our world. It's always a fun show. You can check that out Monday nights, that it becomes available right here on DJNTV. Until then, this is Jason Jones from Mobile Music Thursday saying so long.